Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Dobson 777A here. Okay, we got an interesting show tonight, but I found a article. It was from Crescat Capital, and this was a really neat chart. This is kind of an inverted view on one of the lines here, so this kind of screws you up a little bit when you're looking at this. But gold prices are in white, and then red is the 5-year real yield, but they inverted it. So what's happening is they're showing that as the yield is dropping, you have to kind of change your mind here, but or that you're thinking. But this red is the yield is dropping, gold is increasing in value, and then when the yield stabilized and went sideways, that's when gold started dropping. Now we're starting to see the yield change again, and that's why we saw the recent run up on gold again. But as this yield is going down, then gold will go up because it's a safe haven. So I thought this was an interesting chart. And you can look up here, crescat.net, November performance update. And there's a little article talking about that they believe that a lot of these S&P 500 and everything are overvalued, and that's what they're showing here. Bottom of the double dip recession, tech bubble, and where we're at currently. There's nowhere to go up, only down is what they're thinking. So there's some indication of the same chart again that we may see gold take off as S&P and everything goes down, but we'll have to watch the yields as well. Now we've been keeping an eye on uranium. A couple people have been thinking that there was an opportunity in uranium, and I kept thinking that maybe at some point we'll get a change in people thinking about whether nuclear power plants are the way to go. But an interesting thing happened in the last couple days. So first off, this is a complex chart again, but here's gold running across here. This is let me do this. Okay, so here's a 5-year view of gold. So gold is here. Then silver is this yellow colored here. And then platinum is the blue colored. And then uranium is here. And you can see uranium's all of a sudden had a massive spike. But it's not what you think. We haven't had a change in thought process or anything. But I found an article talking about that we've got uranium mines suspended operation due to COVID. So this is a little bit of stuff going on that we saw with silver and gold there for a while, where some of even the manufactured gold and silver was being slowed down, and so there was a temporary shortages of it, which caused some price increases in the premiums primarily. So anyways, that's kind of what's happening right now. I don't know that this is something that's going to last for a while or not, but that's what the current jump is, and it's not necessarily that there's been a change. But I've read some other articles where they were talking about that at some point the greenies, the folks pushing all this wind and solar and everything, are going to have to realize they're not going to get there from here, and that they're going to need serious base power. So they're going to need nuclear plants as the base power. Unfortunately, solar doesn't work at night, and the wind in a lot of the parts of the country doesn't blow all the time, and so you need serious base power to be able to make sure you have power when you need it. So that's kind of what's going on with uranium right now. This might be a short-term trade, but it's already jumped so much, like 30% in a very short amount of time, that it's don't know that there's much opportunity left on this one, but I think that's what's occurring. I was reading some comments again about the election, and we have, the Texas challenge was not accepted by the Supreme Court because they claimed they didn't have standing. So now I'm hearing that the Trump campaign is actually going to be filing essentially the same challenge, but now with his office, who obviously was affected by this and therefore should do well. And then I saw something else where they're doing some parallel electors. Even though the Electoral College was voted, some were turned away by their legislatures, and apparently some parallel electors are being developed. Kind of complicated. So there's a lot of things still going on. It doesn't seem to be over yet. But the other thing was this executive order that was signed in 2018 is really curious, and I recommend that you kind of go look at this. I'll try to put links in the description, but this has some serious stuff in here about what they would do to folks that were caught up and people from other countries that are involved. And we talked about before that they were going to remove lock business accounts, personal accounts where they can't use their funding. So there's a lot of neat stuff that's going on, but there's a report that's supposed to be done within 30 days after the election, and then they can decide if they're going to implement this or not. But there's some stuff going on right now. This is a long read, so I'm not going to go through it, but I thought you might be interested in this. Now, the next thing, apparently we have what they call a vaccine that's coming through, and the National Institute of Health director is trying to get people to say, hey, even though we did this really fast, it's safe, folks. It's safe. Trust me. Now, I will argue there was a saying that I learned many, many years ago: cheap, quick, or good. You can only have two of those. So if you make it cheap and quick, it won't be good. So next is good and quick would not be cheap. And lastly, good and cheap would not be quick. So the problem is, what did they do here? Did they actually do good and cheap? It wouldn't be quick. So we know this was done quick. So is it good and quick? That means they spent a bloody fortune. Or was it cheap and quick, which would not be good? That's your choice. I'm kind of thinking they did it cheap and quick, so therefore it's not good, and I'm not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's my 2 cents. Now, the other problem with this particular thing is, and I had to go do some research, but this is one of these doggone things where they're using, here it is, it's on the next thing. This is like messing with your genetics. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the problems when you go messing with your genetics, it's now your DNA is kind of modified, and you can't treat it with regular drugs or anything anymore. So I'm kind of against doing this. And they're talking about making it, go getting all the kids and everything right away. And I'm just thinking, folks, I would not be first in line for this one at all. I would not be first in line. And I'm going to tell you right now, they do not know what all of the side effects are of this. And there were actually some significant down here. They're saying 3 of 15 human guinea pigs experienced serious adverse effect. That's 20%, folks. Sorry, I don't want any adverse effects. Have to see what that would be. But there's some problems with, I'm understanding, like you may not be able to reproduce for some period of time after having this. And I don't know what that means, some period of time. It could be that, I don't know, this is one way they're going to try to control the human population. There's a lot of things about this that are disconcerting, and I'm not thinking we want to go be messing with our DNA, truthfully. So I don't know. This is something I'm a little concerned about myself. Let's see where we were with gold price here. So gold is actually coming up in the after hours here. So we were down to 1828. We're up to 1831.51, and then we're still hanging in there about $24 for silver. While I'm here, I get a lot of complaints on the free videos that I give out to, so let's say subscribers. Just want you to know, members, I'm going to try to disable the advertising for members. So that's a benefit for you guys. I will. I think there's a way that I can do this. So members, because you guys have paid, you're not going to have advertising. Subscribers, sorry folks, you didn't pay for anything, so you're going to have to get some advertising to pay the bills. I do give a lot of free content, but I give more specific, more detailed content to members. So there's members have benefits. and a lot of things are coming together here soon. Okay, so when we look at our ETF representations of our physicals, GLD was down 0.55, up 20% for the year. PPLT, which is platinum, was down 0.31, up 4% for the year. SLV is silver, that was up 0.45 for the year. So, I'm sorry, down 0.45 today and up 32.77 for the year. Now we look at our ETF miners, but GDX was down 2%, the portfolio overall down 2.2. It looks like silver miners and junior gold miners were down the worst today. Overall, the portfolio's close to 18% for the year. So the overall market, again, didn't do much today. Got a little bit of green over here with France and NASDAQ. Everybody else was just slightly down. New Zealand was up 0.76. Got a timer going off for some reason. Consumer discretionary was green and information tech was green. Everybody else is not looking so hot. So that's it for the report. I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.
Go potty.